Hey everyone, Chris here. I was tagged last week by Pete over at the River Kings channel on what is my favorite gear brand. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's a pretty tough question for me because, you know, I like quality gear. Doesn't mean all of my gear is good quality though, unfortunately. You see, I'm a bit on the frugal side. I will spend a fortune trying to save a buck. So I have, over the years, I've ended up with a lot of cheap gear, and I've also ended up with some good gear. Typically what happens is I'll buy cheap gear, and then a couple months later I'll end up buying what I should have bought in the first place. So you're not always saving money when you're trying to save money. Keep that in mind. That being said, over some of the gear I got here, you know, I do, on my channel, you all know I do a little bit of everything. I'm as likely to be hiking and camping as I am to be kayaking, as I am to be scuba diving, as I am to be working on the off-grid cabin. I try to stay active, I try to stay busy. So I've got a lot of gear that I use for different things. And as far as my cook sets go, when I'm camping, and kayak camping, or just camping in general, backpacking, whatever the case may be, I actually have 3 different cook sets. I have this MSR set, which I like a lot. It's a very good set. But for some reason, I don't seem like I use it as much as I use my Stanley Adventure Series. I actually have 2 of these, and they are my favorite cook kits. Even though they're probably not as good as the MSR, I really like the Stanleys. They just do what I need them to do. And it's not uncommon to see me using this cheap Ozark Trail stuff either. I use them all 3. I like them all 3. In reality, there's things I like about the Ozark Trail that I don't like about the MSR. So, you know, as I've said, not always is the best, and not always is the worst. But if you're not careful, you will end up spending a lot of money trying to save a buck. So keep that in mind. When it comes to backpacks, I've got backpacks running out of my ears. Most of them are not what I would consider expensive backpacks. I do have a couple that are definitely better quality than the others. For my day hiking, I use this Camelback linchpin. It will carry most anything I need for a day's hike, and actually I could use it for an overnighter as well. It's got a hydration system built into it, which I like very well, and for its size, it carries quite a bit of gear. So it's a very nice backpack, and like I said, I do like to use it on my day hikes. Now, if I'm going on a hike overnight, or maybe a couple of days, which I've not got to do in a while, but hopefully we'll get to do that this summer. That's the plans. I've got a Kelty that I use for that. I also have some other packs. I actually have a Coleman Peak 1 that's a pretty decent pack. It's older, but it's in very good shape, and it does a really good job, and it's been a really quality pack over the years. Okay, let's talk a little bit about dry bags. By far, the best dry bags, as far as I'm concerned, that money can buy are the Sea to Summit. I have at least a couple of these that I use on my kayaking trips. I like them a lot. I actually use this one right here to hold my my hammock, my custom hammock that I had made by Bruce over at Nature Calls. I also have an old Cabela's dry bag that is a pretty good sized dry bag, and it'll hold a lot, and it is, in all reality, it is the biggest and probably one of the best I have also. It compares with the Sea to Summit, definitely. As far as hammocks go, I keep my hammock, my best hammock, in this Sea to Summit dry bag here. It is actually the hammock that Bruce over at Nature Calls custom made me. Bruce did an outstanding job. I've used this numerous times out in the hills, out in the woods, on the riverbank, camping, and I've always enjoyed every night I've stayed in it. It is a very quality made hammock. He used all the Amsteel rope in the making of it. It's very stout, very lightweight. I mean, super lightweight. I got a set of tree straps that I keep with it, and it just it does an outstanding job. Also too, many of you probably have seen, if you've spent any time on my channel at all, you have seen my Anertrek hammock. I was actually sent this from Anertrek to do a review on, and I like it. I've used it quite a bit in the last few months. It is very comfortable. It does a very good job. It's on par with, I think, with any of the other hammocks that you can purchase out there, the more expensive ones, and it does a very good job. Is it a Hammock Gear hammock, or is it a Hennessy, or is it something like that? No, it's not that kind of hammock, but it is still a very nice hammock. It does sleep very well, and it does pack very easily. As far as my underquilts go, I've got a simple one Tigris. I think it's good down to about 25 degrees, somewhere in that neighborhood. It does a good job. Sleeps good. So far, it's been all I need. But now I'm not camped in really any colder temperatures than that, so I don't know what it would be, how it would feel down colder, but I'm guessing probably not very good. As far as Scuba Gear goes, I am kind of brand loyal. I mean, it is life support equipment. It does keep you alive in the water, under the water. So I try to stick with Sherwood Scuba, if at all possible. And occasionally I will use Oceanic stuff, but that's usually where I draw the line. I trust both those name brands. They do a very good job. As far as kayaks go, as you can see behind me here, this is 3 of my kayaks. There's some more back in here, and there's one hanging here. Most of them are cheap. I've got a couple of more expensive ones. My current kayak, my personal kayak that I use on a regular basis now, is a Perception Acadia, 12 and a half feet, sorry, 12 and a half feet, 12.5. I like it. I did purchase it used, but it's like brand new. It does a very good job, and it's definitely a far cry above what I was paddling before. As far as paddles go for my kayaking, my best paddle is this Ray Streak. It's a fiberglass top paddle, and I carry an Otter brand paddle as backup, as a reserve paddle on my kayak. Like I said, I'm not really what you would call brand loyal. I'm a tightwad, I'm frugal, however you want to look at it. I try to save money wherever I can. I have been fortunate enough to be able to get some good gear over the years. I've also been, fortunate enough to get some cheaper gear. I tend to be a gear junkie. I like my gear. I want to thank Pete for tagging me in this video. I want to thank Pete for the shout out. Also too, something that has transpired since Pete did the video. As you all well know, the spring meetup is coming in May. It'll be May 15th, 16th, and 17th. And Pete has volunteered to come in and teach our kayaking class on the morning of the 16th, Saturday. Also, he has agreed to teach a land navigation class, map and compass type class. So that should be really interesting as well. Going to have a lot of fun classes that day. I hope everyone out there is watching will at least consider trying to make it up. It's really not that far from North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Ohio, West Virginia. Any of those surrounding states, you're not that far away. I'd love to see you come out and join us. We're going to have a good time. There is no charge for anything, no charge for the camping. Bring your own food. Saturday evening we'll have a big potluck dinner around the campfire and just sit and shoot the breeze and eat a lot of food, a lot of good food, I'm sure. Okay, I guess it's time for me to tag someone. Maybe I'll tag a couple. Let's tag Shane over at Monkeying Around, and let's tag Kevin with the Wondering Electrician channel, let's tag one more. Who do we want to tag? Who do we want to tag? That's a good question. Let's tag Chris on That Hiking Guy channel. Chris Colbert over on That Hiking Guy channel. That's our 3 tags. Shane at Monkeying Around, Kevin at the Wondering Electrician, and Chris Colbert at That Hiking Guy channel. Pete, thanks for the tag. Hope you enjoyed the video. You know, I wish I could tell you I had expensive gear. All my gear was just top of the line, super expensive, but it's not. But that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. With that, we'll see you on down the trail. Thanks again.